Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to have you here. This is my first masterclass. It's going to be one of many. I really love teaching human design, and it's something that's, kind of taken over. And if we haven't met before, I'm Katie, and I'm going to show you in this class how to use human design to attract your goals in 2020 without burnout, feeling like crap, or hating your life. Because what is the point of working towards all these goals if they feel terrible? So we're about to get started. I'm going to be sharing some of my favorite human design secrets, and I might drop an F-bomb or two, so use headphones if that's something you don't want people around you to hear. I don't always mean to, but sometimes they just come out. So I'm guessing for most of you, maybe even all of you, this isn't your first time having goals or learning strategies to meet your goals, right? It's January, New Year's resolutions. I think we're all really used to that. So if you failed at them before, I just want to say me too. And I want to let you know that it's not your fault. There's a lot of confusing information out there that isn't designed to work for you. We actually live in a world that's designed for a combination of energy that doesn't really exist, that expects us to work like machines. And it doesn't only keep you from success, but it creates burnout, stress, and just kind of misery and unhappiness. And that's not what I want for any of you. So if you've been concerned in the past that maybe those dreams or those goals or desires you have aren't meant to be, I want to put those fears to rest. I strongly believe that if you have true desires for something, that they're totally meant for you. There's a reason that some of us, want to be actors and some of us want to be engineers. It's because we each have that special role to play. So when you have these desires for the goals, I believe they're meant for you, and I believe that you can achieve them no matter how big they are. You just really need to understand the right system for you, because you're totally unique and wonderful, and a one-size-fits-all system is not going to cut it. So other experts in the personal development field might tell you to just do it, make it happen, hustle till your eyes bleed. And I respectfully believe that they're wrong. So just because a strategy worked for them, it doesn't mean it's going to work for you, because you are a unique person, you have a unique energy, and for the most part, that stuff just doesn't work for everybody. It might get you to a goal, don't get me wrong, but you're left exhausted, empty, confused, burnt out, and then what's the point of it all? You're just on to the next thing. So if you've ever thought that there's something these personal development or biz gurus aren't telling you that has created success for them, I think you're right, only they probably don't have any idea either. It's kind of like a 7-foot tall person teaching their slam dunk success secrets to someone who's 5 feet tall. Their unique design makes their system work for them. And you need to understand your unique design so you can make success systems work for you. Does that make sense? Let me know what you guys are thinking. So that's why we're here. I've worked with so many amazing people over the past year that have been so full of potential and dreams and goals, and I really believe that you can reach them in a way that feels good to you. Awesome, cool. Okay, so my goal for this class is to not just show you a bunch of human design charts that I've covered in glitter, although there will be a few of those. But I want to create tangible steps to move you towards your goals in a way that works for a human design. So if you're new to human design, oh my God, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. This is going to be awesome. This is not a intro to human design. So if you're totally new, that's okay. After the class, go check out my YouTube channel. Email me if you can't figure it out. Otherwise, just search YouTube for Sort of Spiritual. I have a couple videos there. So if there's a couple of words I say or concepts that you don't quite get, no worries. There's still going to be lots of valuable information for you in this class. And I think you're going to get a ton of value no matter where you're at on your journey. So stay till the end. I have an awesome bonus for those who stay. It's going to be a checklist covering all the tips that we cover tonight. So that will just make your life so much easier when you're going to implement them. Okay, again, if you don't know me, welcome and thank you. I'm Katie. I'm a human design strategist and a coach. I really appreciate you taking the time to join me tonight. And honor you for taking the time to work on yourself. So I work with women who have some big goals, but feel like their alignment isn't lining up with them yet. And I use human design as a system to guide the work that we do, show you how amazing you are, and I use coaching techniques to release the resistant and get aligned ASAP. There's this kind of rhetoric in the human design community that it takes you 7 years to decondition. And I don't know about you, but I don't have an interest in waiting 7 years. I've got into alignment pretty quickly with human design, and I really believe that you can too. So I'm going to share a little bit about my story. Not too long ago, I was exhausted. I was burnt out. I was uninspired. I had no motivation. I was in a relationship that was not working for me. I felt totally lost, to be honest. I didn't know my purpose, and I questioned if I actually had one. I knew that I had so much work to do on myself, but I didn't know where to start. I didn't know if anything was going to make a difference. And I was about to completely give up on my dreams to be this like healthy, energized, excited person and have a business and travel the world, all these things that I wanted, because I just didn't know if it was going to work. I was also being a total victim and feeling powerless to do anything to move myself forward. It felt really embarrassing, especially when I was working with coaches in the personal development industry. I was hopping from thing to thing, expert to expert, and nothing really worked to inspire me or to get me to take action. It sounds dramatic, but it's the truth. Everything just kind of felt like crap. So, not following my design really kept me angry for basically my entire life and totally out of alignment and definitely away from my goals. Oh, Chinju, thank you for sharing. Yeah, that last point. Let me know if any of the other points on that list related to you. I know sometimes it's hard to share our struggles, but we definitely all have them. So, what does human design have to do with this? It gave me really tangible tools, steps, and areas to focus on to make major upgrades to my life. I like to say that human design is like the Google Maps to alignment. And I really like it because even when it comes to personal development work, it's not general. It shows you where you really need to be looking. So, what I really wanted at this time, I wanted to have a business. I'd been trying to start a business for years, but instead, I was an assistant. I wanted to make an impact on the world. I wanted to have the freedom to have my own thing and to travel. I was really just not meant for that fluorescent lighting cubicle life. I'm not sure that anybody is, but hey, if that's your thing, you do you, whatever makes you happy. Everything felt impossible. All the experts that I learned strategies from left me glued to my desk, exhausted, burnt out, lost. And not to mention, my partner at the time was always really angry with me because I was always trying to do work and I never had any results to show for it. Like the number of times people would be like, "Hey, how's your business going?" And I'd be like, don't ask me. So I should also mention that I spent $20,000, so not a small sum of money, on courses, on coaching, on all the things. And I was still no further ahead, which just made it that much worse. Like, what was wrong with me that I bought all these things that people promised was going to work and just nothing did? So the thing is, what I was really struggling with wasn't actually the tech in my business. It wasn't the strategies to reach my goals, but I was really struggling with believing in myself. And I had coaches that would tell me, like, you just have to believe in yourself. And I would be like, but how? Like, explain this to me. I don't get it. I don't. So, for whatever reason, I grew up really not liking myself. For a long time, I struggled with hating myself. And oh, Renee, I feel you. It's okay. We got you on here. So I grew up hating myself. I really did. I don't know why. It's, part of my design, to be honest, is struggling with that. I'm through it now, thank goodness. But I was constantly comparing myself to other people. And everywhere I looked, it was like I just fell short. All I knew in my world was that I wasn't enough. I really wanted to be, but I just didn't think I was. I didn't understand myself. I didn't feel like I had any value or strengths. And trying to start a business from that place was painful. So here I was about 3 years ago. I was in the beautiful Ritz Hotel in Paris, and it was very fancy. I was at a mastermind where there was a coach who charges $100,000 a year, like, oh my God, to work with her. She was standing at the front of this beautiful room that you're seeing here, and telling us about human design. And something just really intrigued me. So at this point, I'd been trying to start a business for years, like I said, but instead I was the assistant at the back of the room with no business. And I couldn't understand when she was teaching us the human design types, why I, who happened to be the only manifester in the room, the ones that are supposed to initiate and get started and make an impact, was an assistant and not a business owner. And I realized then how out of alignment I was, how afraid I was, how I had really been living my entire life to please others, and that life just didn't feel good. So let me know if you've ever had any of those moments where you're just like, what am I doing? How did I get here? So within 2 months, I left my husband. I moved back to Toronto. I had started a new relationship. I moved in with my best friend, and it was just kind of crazy. Everything in my life changed, and this person that I started the relationship with, who is still my partner today, is the most supportive, most wonderful human I've met. And it's just really insane how quickly things can move when you move towards alignment. So since then, I was pretty high off my wins for a little while. This new life I was creating, things felt so good. I quit my job, I got a new one, I signed up to do a coaching program, and the day before the coaching program started, I got laid off, and I took it as a sign. I was like, oh, this is the universe. Yes, this is gonna happen for me. But what actually happened was I wasn't aligned with my energy type, because my energy type doesn't need signs from the universe. So I blew through my savings. I had no direction in my business. I had to borrow money from my parents to pay my rent, and I got depressed very quickly. And for the first time in my life, I started having panic attacks. And if this is something that you've experienced ever, my heart goes out to you, because they are not easy to deal with. So here's the thing I realized about goals. During that time when I was feeling really low and struggling with a lot of things, is that all these goals that I was trying to reach, all these strategies I was trying to use, is to get to these goals because we want to feel a certain way. And once you reach a goal, that particular goal generally doesn't matter anymore, because it was a feeling that we were after. And once we get there, we're already on to the next thing. And that's just the nature of the universe. It's the nature of humans. We're expansive. So we're always growing. We're always expanding. So as I was thinking about this, if I'm doing all this drudgery, awful work that I hate to get to these goals, and by the time I get to them, I'm going to be on to the next thing anyway, really, what kind of life was I creating for myself? So I decided I was going to stop all that, all the stuff I was doing that felt terrible, and that my goal would be to work on alignment, and my focus would be on feeling good. And that was really hard at first, because I didn't know what felt good. But I promised that if you're going through this, you can get there. So I went back to human design, my love, and I really started to implement the stuff into my life, because information doesn't make a difference. It's really all about implementation. I got to know my chart. I got to know myself really well. I focused on my strengths, and I got to understand my Achilles heel, or my kryptonite, a little bit better. And I began to really experiment and focus on my strategy and authority. Now, I know that I'm doing the right work, and it feels so good. I get to share what I learn with my community, like you guys. So thank you so much for showing up. And it's not only the cornerstone of my chart and one of the most important things, but it also just feels like so fucking good I could cry. And I'm very emotional. So if I cry, it's not going to be a shock to anyone who knows me. But it's no surprise that my chart says I'm here to talk about knowing yourself, about introspection, about transformation. That's the stuff that really lights me up. And since allowing myself to do that, to step into these strengths of mine, to share my resources, my life has felt better. Oh, Katie, you're a crier too. I love it. My life has felt better, honestly, than I thought it could. I thought I was just going to feel this like flat, monotonous, unexcited existence, maybe forever. Like maybe that's just how I was. So not only am I happier, I have clarity on my purpose. I know where my Achilles heels is. I can support myself through those things, but my goals are just happening so much more easily. And after like 4 years of trying to start a business with human design, I started getting clients immediately. I also moved into a very cute apartment on my own that's fully furnished for like a crazy price in Toronto. I have a relationship that's so supportive, and I'm a little bit hesitant to mention this because I don't want this to be a focus, but I've lost almost 20 pounds since finding human design and getting into my design. And I don't have any interest in promoting weight loss. I don't think that being skinnier is better. But as someone who used to really struggle with binge eating, and I mean like take cake out of the garbage binge eating, and as someone who for over a decade of my life was completely obsessed with dieting and weight loss, to just like effortlessly lose 20 pounds without trying, without restriction, without any energy towards it at all is just pretty cool. So what I'm trying to say with that is that when you work on alignment with human design towards your goals, whatever it is you're struggling with, other things will line up because you are a whole person. So the alignment bleeds through. Does that make sense? Yeah, weight loss. It's tough, right? And I see that we have some other criers on here. Steph, yeah, you are my twin, I think. Yeah, okay, cool. So your goals may be different from mine. I hope that you don't need to leave your husband or don't want to. I hope you're in a great relationship, actually, if that's what you want. Maybe your goal is to get a new job, maybe your goal is to travel, to start a business, but these tips are going to apply to whatever challenges you have going on in your life and whatever vision you want to create. Samuel, I can see your messages. Yes, if that's what you mean. Okay, so what is human design? If you're new to human design, it is a system for knowing yourself. It's based off of astrology, chakras, the I Ching, which is an ancient Chinese system, as well as others. It's calculated from your birth time, date, and location, and it gives you a map of who you're designed to be. So it's how you move through life with the most ease, least resistance, how you energetically interact with the world, and how to make correct decisions for yourself. So this training is for you. I want to make sure that you're in the right place. I don't want to waste your time. But this is for you if you have big goals and dreams and you feel lost about how to achieve them. You kind of get the law of attraction, but it doesn't really seem to be working for you. You want to feel connected to your purpose. You want to do something fulfilling. And maybe you want to be less connected to scrolling Instagram and binging on Netflix. And you have these blocks to success, whatever that means to you. Number 3. Okay, cool. And you want to get aligned with the amazing person that you are. So are you in the right place? Does this sound like it's going to be good information for you? We're going to get into the human design stuff now. Yes? Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so let's dive in. So today, what we're going to cover is number 1, where to supercharge your magnetic powers to attract your goals, how to make your liabilities into your assets, and how to respect your design and where to focus to feel better. So I want to make the most of our time together. Like I said, the cornerstone of my design is about sharing resources with my community. So I would ask you to close your tabs, but realistically, I'm never going to close my tabs. So just like drag this to a new window or something, just like minimize the other tabs for the time being. Give yourself the gift of time to focus on you, to focus on your development, and to really learn here, okay? And like I said, if you stay to the end, I will send you a checklist so that you can go through all these steps. Anita, my incarnation cross is the right angle cross of rulership. If you guys don't know what that means, that's totally cool. Okay, so let's dive in. What's stopping you from reaching your goals? Let me know, and we'll try to bust through some of that stuff, okay? So number one, supercharge your magnetic powers. You have a magnet inside of you in the human design world. It's called your magnetic monopole, which I think is a really funny name. But the whole thing is it's in your G center. I will show you on the next slide where that is if you're not sure. And the G center, the purpose of the G center is really to attract everything into your life. It's meant to attract all of the experiences, the resources, the connections, the power that you need to live abundantly. And abundance is whatever that means to you. It's money, it's success, it's health, it's happiness, it's love, it's relationships, community, it's everything, okay? So yeah, see, so you guys say you're struggling with indecision, second guessing yourself, screwing up. Human design is so perfect for all of this because it really gives you a good connection to your inner guidance system. So I'll get back to that a little bit later. So back to the G center. So this is really where your magnetic powers live. And the G center works in kind of a funny way because it will either sort of be like your best friend and attract all the opportunities, the people, the support that you need for your goals, or it will attract the lessons that you need to learn. I don't think I need to explain which one is going to be more fun for you, right? So the center that's kind of at the center, or yeah, in the center of the chart that's circled in pink there, that is your G center. It is the center for direction. It is the center for self. It's also got a lot to do about like worthiness and self-love. So if you're not attracting all of the resources that you need to reach your goals, you will attract lessons in the core areas of the G center. The the energies in the G center come from the 8 gates. If you don't know what a gate is, that's totally okay. So where I've broken it down, you can see the little lines with the numbers that come off. Chinju, no worries, mine is undefined too. There's a lot of wisdom to happen there, but there's a lot of lessons to learn when it's undefined. So the energies in the G center comes from the 8 gates. And I'm gonna go through them quickly. And I invite you to then look into them more. And like I said, I'll have this in the PDF afterwards so that you can kind of rate yourself. But you want to measure how optimized you are in these areas. So the first one is gate 10, which is the gate of self-love. And it's, do I value myself and love myself and believe that I'm worthy of my goals? So check in with yourself around that question. Do you love yourself? Do you value yourself? Do you think you're worthy of your goals? The second energy is gate 7, leadership. And it's how empowered do you feel to reach your goals? Do you believe that you're powerful? Do you believe that you can make things happen or receive what you need? The third energy is gate 1, and it's all about creative contribution. So how authentically aligned are your goals? Are you expressing yourself or are you hiding yourself with your goals? Awesome. See you later, Katie. Bye. So the fourth energy is all around forgiveness. It's gate 13. So are you still holding on to grudges? Do you need to forgive yourself for not reaching goals in the past? You need to release the past and find the blessings, okay? Number 5, which is gate 25, is all about the love of spirit. So how much do you trust spirit to guide you in your goals? How much do you trust the universe to have your back, as Gabby Bernstein says, right? Number 6 is gate 46, and it's all about embodiment. And how physically vital do you feel? How much do you trust your body to get you towards your goals? And yeah, Anita, the forgiveness thing, it's big, right? There's a lot of areas in the chart that talk about the past, but I would look in your chart and see if you have gate 13 highlighted. You might. Um, yeah. So number 7, which is gate number 2, is the receptive. So how much do you believe that you deserve to receive all of the resources that you need to fulfill your goals? And will you allow the universe to give you the resources? So the purple highlights. Steph, I don't know what you mean by purple, but if you have one of the gates activated, so if you have a little line coming from any of these areas, then yes, I would focus more on that. Number 8, so the last one is gate 15, which is the love of humanity. So how much are your goals good, not only for you, but for the greater good of the world? And how much do you believe that? So if you think that some of these energies are beyond your goals or don't apply, dig deeper and see what's really behind the goals and what you really want to achieve, okay? And just like Steph was asking about, pay special attention if you have these gates in your chart. And what I mean by that is when you look at this center on your chart, you will see either full lines that connect to another center or like a little half line coming off of it. And I would also pay special, sorry, I was reading a message, all about gate 15, so much activation around your G center. That's really cool. So there's lots of things for you to check in on with these energies. So pay special attention. Like I said, if you have these gates in your chart, I would also say to pay special attention if you have any of these energies in your Saturn. And so on the side, when you're looking at your chart, there will be little like glyphs that talk about the planets. So if you look at that, the Saturn one looks like the number N, kind of. So check it out. If you have any of these, for example, my Saturn is in gate 10, and Saturn's kind of like one of your teachers. It is the barbed wire fence, so to speak, that keeps you from your goals. So remember how I mentioned that I used to hate myself? Probably a struggle of mine because my gate of self-love is in my Saturn, which is an area that I really struggle with. So it was a big teaching for me, a big lesson. And now that I've gotten through to the other side of this, other things in my life flow a lot better. What are you looking for in this G center? So Agnes, I will email you about your chart, but you're looking, all of these energies are going to apply to everybody. So whether you have any of them defined or not, we all have all of the energies for everything in our design. Some of them we're just gonna feel more consistently. So if you have definition, if you have any lines coming off of this center, you want to focus on those ones specifically, but all of the energies are going to be important when you're manifesting and looking to reach your goals, if that makes sense. Okay. So the next one, we are going to upgrade your open centers. So each open center is an opportunity for you to be wise and experience different energy. But when you have an open center, what you actually do is you take in and amplify the energy. So not only can we hold on to energy that's not ours, but we can kind of get confused because we might actually feel that energy stronger than our own sometimes, especially around family or friends that we're around consistently. So look at your chart, look at the open centers, and if you're using like My Body Graph or Jovian Archive, whatever you're using, they usually have like little blurbs about each of the centers. I'm going to be teaching more about this in the future. I'll have future videos on them, but you want to be moving to the highest expression of these and get out of your own way so that you can allow success. And some of the ways that we can block our success with the open centers is that we get stuck into the low expression of them. So being highly sensitive and empathic makes us feel way more, yes, totally, Vanessa. So when you have open centers, you are more vulnerable to different energies, and that's totally okay because any of your open centers are also areas that you're actually really meant to be wise. So I'll give you a quick example. When I was growing up, I have an undefined head and mind, which is like, if you're looking at the chart, it's the ones at the top. And my dad and my brother have them defined. So my dad and my brother are like very certain. They can be very argumentative. Like they know things. You can bring up something new and they can immediately sort of pick it apart. And they just have a very specific way of looking at the world. They kind of take in everything and filter it through this one lens. And I used to think that I was stupid, and it held me back so much because I really just didn't believe in myself. I thought that I wasn't smart enough to do things. And now what I can see with human design is that's actually a gift to have an open ajna and an open or an open mind and an open head, because you are able to see things from so many different perspectives. You are able to understand so many different types of people. You truly are open-minded, and you are open to different types of ideas, different types of people, different types of information. And so while there's also strengths that my dad and my brother had in having the definition and being certain, that's amazing. And so is mine. So it's like there's strengths in both. And so it's being able to see the high expression of these centers and moving towards that instead of letting yourself get stuck in like the low feeling areas of these centers. Okay, cool. So the next one is to shift your focus to the solar plexus. So human design is evolving. Instead of moving away from fear, we are moving towards what feels good. So in the human design chart, you have a spleen center and you have the solar plexus center. And the spleen is all about instincts. It's about fear and moving away from fear and survival. And that was really how people used to live. Up until recently, we have mainly been reactive beings. It's how we survived. We kept an eye out for scary things, and then we moved away from them. But now we've evolved. We're into these conscious beings that have the ability to choose our thoughts and to deliberately create. So when you understand the nature of the emotional solar plexus, whether it's defined or open, you have the energy regardless, or you have access to the energy regardless. It gives you the ability to deliberately maintain your vibration, which influences the speed at which things are going to show up in your life and how quickly you attract what you need to reach your goals, as well as how good you feel in the process. Renee, you said your G center is completely open, no gates activated. That's totally cool. Yeah, so just have a look through these and where they show up for you, because they're going to change depending on the different energies and activations in your life and who you're around. So back to the emotional solar plexus. The goal is to keep your baseline frequency as high as you can. And the goal is really to raise your vibration and increase the speed of the waves of your frequency, because the more your focus is on the top, even though there's still going to be up and downs, the extremes won't be as extreme and the downs won't last as long. So things will still happen. Challenges will still happen. Life wouldn't be fun if there wasn't anything challenging, right? We wouldn't know how good it feels to feel good if we never felt that. But to work on this and to really make the most out of your solar plexus and get it working for you is to really focus on what feels good. And that might sound kind of like, I don't know, basic advice. Like, of course I want to feel good, but you would be surprised how often we are really, really determined to feel bad, okay? Try to go a day without complaining and just see how that works out. So figure out things that are going to work for you to feel good. And what I want to say that I used to like freaking hate it when people said this advice. It would just make me feel bad because I wasn't feeling good. So instead of trying to force yourself or feeling bad if you're not feeling that way, just start asking questions to the universe and know that answers will come. So things like, what could make this moment feel better? What could feel fun? What would I actually like to do if, I don't know, I had any amount of money or I could see anybody right now? And just start to kind of play in the possibilities, because your mind in human design, that's actually what it's meant to do. It's meant to activate possibilities and to use your imagination. So through your imagination, you can create these great emotional states. And that's what's going to help get your goals to you faster and feel better along the way, which is kind of the whole point of it all. Okay, so I have a bonus fourth lesson, because as I was sharing about all of this with my community, I had some people that said, oh, you can use human design for business? Like, I didn't realize, I had no idea. And that kind of like blew my mind because immediately to me, it made sense to use human design for business. But maybe that's because I was introduced to it at a business mastermind. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Gary Vaynerchuk or Gary V. He is an online marketer. He's incredible at what he does. And he has a very strong opinion on what you need to do to be successful. And it's usually something along like work 18 hours a day. Vanessa, I believe that he's a manifesting generator. I've looked up his chart a few times, like throughout the day, wherever in the world he was born, and he's a manifesting generator, I'm quite sure. So yeah, makes sense, right? So Gary Vaynerchuk is like, do all the things, work 18 hours a day, work till your eyes bleed, like hustle, hustle, hustle. And as I was saying, he is a manifesting generator. And for manifesting generators, that's something that actually might be able to work because they're meant to be multi-passionate. They're meant to be doing different things. And when they do these things, it actually lights them up and gives them more energy. So for Gary Vee, when he's on every platform and making video and writing blogs and doing speaking engagements and like, I don't know, starting all these businesses, he actually gets like more momentum and it gives him more energy. But for at least 70% of the population, that's going to be really terrible advice. It is going to burn you out. It is going to fry your circuits. It's going to make you feel so frustrated and bitter and angry because it's just not going to work for your energy. And so the fourth lesson here is really about respecting your energy type. So what does that mean? For manifesting generators, this is really about doing things that feel good to you and doing multiple things. You don't want to just focus on one thing. Someone messaged me saying that they were told that he's a projector. I don't know if this is true. To me, he very much seems like a manifesting generator. One thing that I will say though is that projectors, when they have open motors, they can often take in and amplify the energy. So it's like they're superhero-like for a period of time. So that could make sense, but I would be surprised just because he's a little bit older. And usually by the time projectors reach 40, if they're not living their design, they're really gonna like fry their circuits. So from back to what respecting your energy type is. So manifesting generators do the things that light you up, do a bunch of different projects. Don't listen to the advice to just focus on one thing because that's not going to be the right advice for you. And again, regardless of what I'm saying, use your authority and figure out what the right way is for you, because that's really what human design is about. It's getting to know yourself. It's getting to understand your own guidance system, which is again called your authority. So you really want to get to know that piece super well. So that's a manifesting generator. A generator, to respect their energy type, they need to have some sort of mastery. So they need to be using their energy. You don't want to just be sitting on your butt all day as a generator. You need to use the energy that you have, but you need to be working towards something that's going to feel masterful to you. You need to be showing improvements. That's really what you're here for, to do the right work. And work doesn't mean a job. It can be creative, it can be raising a family, but it's about using your energy from the sacral because that's what's like been gifted to you. For manifestors, they need to initiate. If a manifestor is just sitting around waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, that's what will burn the manifestor out. That's what will make them sick. So it's like they need to just start initiating things. And you can start with baby steps. It doesn't need to be crazy. Projectors need to just let themselves shine, to just be themselves, let themselves be recognized, and also to recognize themselves for what they're great at so that the world can see them and then give them those invitations that they need. So it's about rest in the sense that they're not initiating, but it's really about letting themselves shine so that other people can recognize them and invite them into opportunities. And then reflectors, the 1%, they're really about finding the right environment, finding the right community, and then giving themselves time, like a whole 28 days for big things, and letting themselves really experience that. So with respecting your energy type, you want to respect that when you're moving towards these goals. Vanessa, yeah, reflectors are really rare. I think I know 2 of them, but probably only because I'm in the human design world. and I've never met them in person. I've only met them online. So respect your energy type and work towards your goals in a way that makes sense for you. Okay. Okay, so I had a GIF here and it's just not working, which, you know, makes me sad, but what can you do? So I want to know, did you learn something? Was this useful to you? Did you learn something new? Oh, and it says my connection is unstable. Can you guys still see me, hear me? No? Hello? Okay, you can hear me. All right, perfect. It's choppy, breaking up. I can hear you, but it's choppy. Oh no. Okay, well, hopefully it's back. Better now. Okay, mostly good. Now better. Oh dear. Okay, let me see if I can. Am I good? Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, so I want to be really clear on one thing for all of you. You are a masterpiece. I don't know if you've heard the quote from Michelangelo, but it's something like, I saw the angel in the marble and carved until I set him free. And that's really the same for you when it comes to your design, that you are so special, you're so amazing, there is nothing wrong with you, and you only need to release that like marble that's on top, what's conditioned you to believe otherwise. So do you feel like that you have steps that you've learned tonight that you can take to move towards your goals? I hope so. I hope that you've gotten value from this and that it's been helpful to you, and that you have like little actionable pieces that you can use to really reach your goals as you're learning human design. Yes? Okay. Awesome. So I really want you to stop suffering. I know that you've mentioned challenges when we were earlier in the presentation, and I also want you to stop pretending like you're not amazing and brilliant. I want you to stop buying into the lies that you need to make choices that take you away from who you are. You really just need to come back to yourself. So human design, your chart will show you who you are, what you came here to do, and that there is a destiny here waiting for you. A lot of people don't believe in like the joy that can happen, but it really can. So I have a question for you. I have a few questions for you, actually. How would it feel to know your purpose and know that you're on the right path? And how many of you are excited about what we just learned? Maybe a little overwhelmed. I know that there's so much to cover in human design. I could probably talk about it for a week straight. And how would it feel to know your purpose, know you're on your path, to totally believe in yourself and your goals, and to know how to get there in the easiest way for you, to totally understand your energy? Freeing. Yeah, totally. Fucking amazing. Yes. I could not agree with you more. It would feel like all the stars. I love that. Agreed. Fucking amazing. See, I love you guys. You're my people. All the F-bombs. Not sure because you haven't experienced that yet. Okay, I get that, Shinju. Relief. Yeah, totally. From busy work to purposeful. Yes. Yeah, I'm very done with the busy work. Cool. All right. Survival to creating. Yeah, I love that. F being busy. Yes. Okay, we're down with that. Okay, so I want to share with you my newest program, which is Master the Power of Your Design. And this is a 12-week coaching program where you will work with me one-on-one, and it will be completely tailored to your unique goals and your unique design. Okay, I want you to get off this emotional roller coaster of not knowing how to get to your goals, of not knowing the next steps to take. And I want you to create success, not later, but in this quarter, in 2020, not years from now. I want you to be totally confident. I want you to transform your ability to create your reality and to reach your goals now and have a repeatable process that you can use in the future. So in this program, we are going to start off with a foundational reading so that you can completely get your energy type understood and start experimenting with your strategy and authority immediately, because these are going to be like the huge game-changing pieces for you. And if you get just these things, it will totally transform your life when you have the continued support to implement it, right? Implementation is what's so important. And every week you're going to get coaching or a reading from me to release any old conditioning, to move to the high expression of your centers and your gates and your channels. And we're going to work to give you the most confidence and supercharge your magnetic powers so you can reach your goals and feel as good as possible. And listen, I love bonuses. I love gifts from the universe, so I have some to give you as well. And the first bonus is going to be a life purpose reading. And these things are so magical. This is where we're going to go into the planets and get to understand all the energy there and how those interact with the gates and what you're really here to do. So that's going to be incredible. And I know some of you might be thinking, what if I'm not a manifester, right? There's this sort of belief that like you need to be a manifester or something for things to work. And that is just really not true. There are some messages from my clients over the past year here. Catherine, who's a manifesting generator, she was able to, everything was feeling like a struggle, and through human design, I helped to give her guidance on how to move forward in a way that's aligned with who she was. With Elisha, it gave her, like she says, the gift of learning through herself, the gift of comprehension, understanding her destiny and how to build a life she's always wanted to live. Like, how good would that feel to just be like, oh, I got it. Like, I know what my purpose is and I can just take the steps towards it. And Elisha's a projector, and like so energetic and so bubbly. So all you projectors who think like, oh, do I need to be quiet and like go sit on a couch? No. Heather, she's a generator, and she said that this gave her such clear insights about her chart and how to apply it to her everyday life and her work, her personal development, and achieving her dreams and passions. So this works for all the types. I should have put one up there for a manifester as well, but anyways. So I have another bonus for you, and that's going to be custom mindset tools. I really know that the work is what's going to make the difference for you and being consistent with it. So I'm going to make it as easy as possible and make you custom tools from my trainings, whether it's going to be tapping or hypnosis or meditations or journaling prompts. We'll figure out what's the best match for you and what you're going to use the most and what you enjoy the most, because that's really what this is all about. So if all this program did for you was to get you clear on your life purpose, if all that it did for you was gave you the tools that you can repeat over and over to achieve goals in your life, and if it got you to love yourself and believe in yourself, if it got you to understand how you energetically move through the world with the most ease and the least resistance, and if it got you to stop comparing yourself and to see your liabilities, quote unquote, because they're not liabilities, okay, as gifts, if it got you to change your mindset and to focus on your success and to learn to create a life that feels good, would that be worth it to you? Like, would that feel amazing to you to get all of these things? And I have one more bonus that I want to talk about, which is the written guide for you to easily reference your chart. So it'll be everything in there that we go over, your strategy, your authority, your gates, your channels, your purpose, the planets, all of the things, just so when you have those moments of doubt or wavering, you can just easily go back to that. And then for the first 5 people who sign up, you will get Voxer access to me throughout the week. So if you're not familiar with Voxer, it's like a walkie-talkie app. You can voice note people, you can text people. So this means that you don't need to wait for our weekly calls to get support, which is so amazing, especially as you're learning to really experiment with your strategy and authority and apply all of this to your life. So this is the program, Master the Power of Your Design. You get a foundation kickoff call with me. You get a center reading with me. You get a channel and gate reading with me, and then 8 coaching calls, as well as your life purpose reading, the custom mindset tools, the written human design report, and for the first 5 lucky people who take action, Voxer access. So if you're ready to get started today, I would love for you to join. You can head to sortofspiritual.com/human design coaching. Let me see if it will let me write in here. Yeah, I think it will. Sortofspiritual.com, human design coaching. And you can scroll down to the area that looks like this, and there's 2 options. So if you're like ready to go and you know that like this is it, this is meant for you, you're ready to be in alignment, you're ready to live your design, you know that this is what's going to make the difference for you, you can go and pay in full. It's $2,000 USD. Most of my clients come from the US, so that's why. I'm in Canada, if you didn't know. Or if you're not ready to do that, you can use the payment plan if that's going to be easier for you. And it is 3 monthly payments of $777. So you can head to that link now and get started, okay? If you know that this is for you. So I want to remind you that information alone isn't going to help. And this is something that I have certainly experienced in my life. I'm sure you have too. How many times have we read books and done nothing with them, knowing that they're life-changing and transformative? Remember how I shared my like major crash and burn? Even though I had already found out about human design, I still ended up like broke, borrowing money from my parents and having panic attacks. So I wasn't applying the practices. I wasn't living my design. Even though I had learned about it, I wasn't really living it. So the implementation is what makes a difference. And having that coach to be there with you, to support you, and to believe in you really makes the difference. Okay, I'm someone that's going to see you as your most amazing self, as the highest expression of who you are. I'm not going to try and keep you in a box because that's how I knew you to be at some point. I see the best, I hold the space for the best in you, and that's how you really get to transform and move quickly. So if you are feeling called, you are here for a reason. You showed up to this class for a reason. You want to change, you want to reach your goals, you want to up level, you want more success in your business, in your life, and I want you to take the action to move yourself forward. So if you're one of the ones who's ready for the transformation, just go sign up. Make the investment in yourself. It's going to change your life forever. I also want to mention this is the only time that you're ever going to see this pricing. So $2,000 if you pay in full, or $777 times 3, so 3 monthly payments of that. I operate with integrity with this, so I mean that you're not going to find this pricing on a class that I do in the future. So if you want this, jump on it now because it's not going to be available going forward. And this is for a specific type of person. This is for someone who is really ready to make moves and reach towards your goals. It's for someone who's determined to make a lasting transformation. It's for someone who's ready to let go of their past limits and create a new world of possibility. So those people who are go-getters, that you're open to completely changing your mindset and making new possibilities for yourself. So if you didn't sign up and you want to, I know there's usually 3 reasons. One of them is money fears, and I get that. I also want you to understand, though, that when money is one of your fears that's getting in the way and you don't want to invest in yourself, that you're betting on yourself to fail. And I don't want you to do that. Money is a renewable resource, but time isn't. You can earn more money. You can receive more money. You can make more money if that's what is going to make the difference. And I want to tell you a quick story, actually, that's just coming to me. So when I first started doing like the personal development work around money and getting aligned in that area, I was working in Dubai at the time, and my take-home salary, because they had paid for my accommodation and food and whatever there, my take-home salary ended up being $2.87 an hour. This was like a decade ago, but regardless, $2.87 an hour. That's nothing. I had all these things that I wanted to invest in. I had places I wanted to go. I had trips I wanted to go on, and I was working 14 hours a day, like 6 days a week, earning less than $3 Canadian an hour. It was not a fun place to be. I had no other ways of earning money there. And when I started doing this work around money and wanting more of it and investing in myself and getting aligned in that area, the craziest things happened. Like, I was entered into a receptionist competition, and yes, that's actually a thing, where I got first runner up and I won $1,500 American. And then, like 3 weeks after that, I won the Employee of the Year award from my company, which meant I got $5,000 American. So within like 6 weeks, I had $6,500 American in my pocket when I was used to earning $2.87 an hour. So money is something that can come to you if it's a block. Let me know, send me an email if that's a thing for you, and we can talk it out, okay? Reason number 2 is that you're too busy. And if you're too busy, it's like that old thing they say with meditation. If you're too busy to meditate for 10 minutes, then you should be meditating for 2 hours. So if you think that you're too busy for coaching and to transform your life, then you definitely need to make time for coaching to transform your life. Because when you have filled up your energy with all of these things to do and all of these shoulds, then there's no space for the right things to come into you. This is something that I always go over in my readings, is that you need to get rid of the shoulds and the obligations that aren't lighting you up and that aren't working for your energy. So if you think you're too busy, decide differently and make the time. Because if something emergency happened and you had to make the time, you would. So make yourself that important. Make your goals that important. Reason number 3 is that you're waiting for another time. And I get it, it might not be the right timing, but generally there's never a right timing for these big things. So I want you to move forward if you're feeling called. There's so much good stuff on the other side of fear. So here it is again. You can head to the link, get started, master the power of your design. You get 8 coaching calls with me. You get 4 different readings with me. So you'll get to know yourself and understand yourself so well. And yes, Erica, I only sent it to the panelists. Oops. That's why you guys can't see the link. Sorry, let me just figure out. I might need to stop sharing 1 second. Can't get out of this. There we go. Okay, hi everybody. Let me put the link in to all attendees. There we go. I was only replying to panelists and there's no other panelists. It's just me. So like I said, you get 4 readings. You get the life purpose reading, which is my all-time favorite. You get the centers, the gates, the foundation reading. You are going to be so set for everything that you need. And in the event that you aren't completely sure or you still have a couple of questions before you sign up, head to that link. Let me just make sure it's working properly. It should be. Yeah, so head to that link and scroll down to the bottom of the page. And there is a button to book a 15-minute decision-making call with me. So if you need to have a few questions answered, we can talk about something what you're excited about. We can talk about something that you're, unsure about, and we'll chat through it. We'll figure out how to make it work for you. I have limited space for this program. I can't work with a ton of one-on-one clients, but I'm really excited to work with you if this is something that you want to do. So let me know if you have any questions, if you have questions about the program, if you have questions about human design, if you have things that you want me to cover in future trainings, whatever it is, let me know. I am here for you guys right now, okay? I'll give it a minute. Take some water. No questions? We're good? Did I answer everything? Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for everyone who stayed. I'm just gonna take a quick, I don't have questions, but I love your enthusiasm. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Anita. And thank you, Monica. I am super excited to get to know all of you better. I'm super excited to work with those of you who are ready to dive into coaching around human design. It's going to be such an amazing transformation. I can't wait. I really can't. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Vanessa. I really appreciate that. And I will be having more human design masterclasses in the future. If you're not following me on Instagram, do that because I'll announce them there. It's at sort of spiritual, and I will send you out the replay probably tomorrow and whenever it gets uploaded. And I will also get that PDF to you tomorrow that talks about the stuff that we went through so you can start implementing it into your own life, okay? If you have questions, DM me on Instagram. Let me know what topics you want me to cover next time, and we will go over it there. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Have an amazing evening. I appreciate you, and I hope you all have the most amazing night and year. Okay? Bye, guys.